NYIT is a community service of the New York Institute of Technology.
Covering the news of Nassau and Suffolk County's Long Island News Tonight with Ken Eckhart, Carol Peck, and the award-winning LI News team.
Good evening. I'm Ken Eckhart, and here's what's happening. A big brother will be watching you if you choose to drive into the upscale enclave of Kings Point. As Tara Evans reports, the village is installing dozens of surveillance cameras to monitor every car that enters its borders.
Most people are used to seeing red light cameras at intersections, but now the village of Kings Point could be adding dozens of security cameras to their streets. According to Police Commissioner Jack Miller, this move follows a recent crime surge in the area, including home invasions around Kings Point Park beginning late last year.
44 cameras at 19 locations. That's the 19 entrances to the village. It'll get you both coming in and out.
In fact, there's already a test camera in place, and the commissioner says now that all adjustments have been made to ensure the best possible results, the addition of others could be an asset to law enforcement.
What it does is it takes a video, which we'll probably store for about 2 weeks, and it also reads all the license plates that comes in, which will be stored indefinitely. And when it's either a suspended license or a stolen car or a felony or an order of protection or a sex offender, it'll notify us of what's going on.
Now, the test camera currently installed is right here at East Shore Road and Hicks Lane in Kings Point. And although some might consider the cameras an invasion of privacy, residents say their security is worth that risk.
We've had a lot of crime in Kings Point. They haven't caught the perpetrators yet, and I think it's time that they do that before someone really, really gets hurt.
Nobody's supposed to do anything criminal out here anyway, so the cameras aren't going to put anyone at risk.
The commissioner says as far as privacy is concerned, the footage isn't constantly watched and cameras don't zoom in on anyone's private moments.
Pretty much zeroes in on the license plate. You really don't see what's going on in the car, and you're only seeing what's transpiring on the road, which just the normal public sees anyway.
In Kings Point, Tara Evans, LI News Tonight.
A Long Island teenager was killed this morning in a head-on crash in Brentwood. Suffolk County Police say 18-year-old Javon Toombs of Dix Hills was driving south on Crooked Hill Road a little before 8 this morning when he crossed over the dividing line and struck a northbound tractor-trailer. Toombs was pronounced dead at the scene. The driver of the truck was reportedly not injured. A Long Island mother has been charged with driving drunk with her 9-year-old daughter in the car with her. Suffolk County Police say 41-year-old Lisa Taruso of Islip Terrace was observed by police driving erratically on Wireless Boulevard in Hauppauge early yesterday evening. Police say when Taruso stopped and got out of the car, she appeared intoxicated and was arrested, and her daughter was turned over to a family member. Taruso was charged with a felony under Leandra's law for driving drunk with a child less than 16-year-old in the vehicle with her. It's reported student loan debt has outpaced credit card debt, and it's likely to top $1 trillion this year as more students go to college and a growing share of them borrow money to do so. Economists say this means many graduates could still be paying off their student loans when it's their time for their kids to go to college. On the flip side, it's being reported businesses are planning to hire more graduating college seniors this year than they did in 2010. And as Robert Marzano reports, a great place for graduates to find employers is at a job fair.
Many of these students will be graduating soon, and they're here at the 28th Annual Job and Internship Fair at New York Institute of Technology in Old Westbury, looking to take that next big step towards a career.
Hopefully a great opportunity to either find a job or an internship. I know I myself I'm looking for an internship over the summer. Students that will be graduating this May, hopefully they'll be finding a job after they graduate, and we can only hope for good things.
Purpose for us is really to try and highlight our students to the employers and organizations that are out looking for entry-level hires, maybe some hires that are a bit more seasoned. So we open this up to our current students as well as to our alumni.
Hyde says over 80 companies were represented at the fair in fields including communications, engineering, economics, and even in the armed forces.
So we like to get out. We just like to spread the word about the Navy, what we're doing on, around the globe. You see everything on TV. We like to put a face with that, with those images.
Students say they're hopeful the economy will improve, and this event will give them a chance to land that dream job.
We give it our best as adults when we're already done with college. We gotta fend for ourselves now. So this is like one of many opportunities to show that we as adults, men or women, can prove our worth by finding all the resources we can to find a job, make a living, do something we want to do, and in the process get paid for it.
According to a survey done by the National Association of Colleges and Employers, it is said that businesses are planning to hire 14% more college graduates than they did in 2010. In Old Westbury, Robert Marzano, LI News Tonight.
Police say it was the missing license plates that gave him away. Nassau County Police say a Carl Place teenager has been charged with car theft after he was stopped by officers. Detectives say 18-year-old James Rosano was observed driving a 2002 Kia Sedonia on North Franklin Street in Hempstead around 2 a.m. one morning last week without license plates. Well, further investigation revealed the car Rosano was driving had been stolen. Rosano is now facing possession of stolen property charges. It was an up day on Wall Street today. The Dow finished the day up 115.5 points. NASDAQ was up 21 2/3 points, and the S&P was up almost 12 points. NYIT's LI News Tonight continues after this.
Hula hoop your way to good health at Girls Night Out at the East Meadow Public Library on Monday, May 2nd at 7 p.m. You'll need your own hoop. For more information, call 516-794-2570. See a screening of the film Almost Famous at New York Institute of Technology's D. Seversky Center in Old Westbury on Wednesday, May 4th at 5:30 p.m. For more information, call 516-686-7567. Discover your passions with a retirement coach who will help you use them to begin a new course in life at the East Northport Public Library on Wednesday, May 4th at 7 p.m. For more information, call 631-261-2313 or meet the Four Musketeers at the Chelsea Mansion Renaissance Fair at the Muttontown Preserve on Saturday and Sunday, May 7th and 8th from 12 noon till 5 p.m. For more information, call 914-664-2733. If you have an event you'd like included on the LI News Tonight community calendar, send it to linewstonight@nyit.edu.
Press play to start your future. Learn the industry. Use the technology. Become an expert in television reporting, journalism, radio, digital film, public relations and advertising, television production, digital graphics, a beautiful state-of-the-art campus, a road to the job you've always wanted, in the media capital of the world. Communication Arts at NYIT. When can you start?
In international headlines today, residents of the Syrian city of Daraa say bodies lie in the streets today and gunfire could still be heard a day after a government crackdown against anti-government protesters. A Syrian human rights group says security forces continue to round up activists across the country. Yesterday's raids on Daraa killed at least 11 people. Meanwhile, Syria's anticipated election to the UN's top human rights body is drawing growing behind-the-scenes opposition because of that deadly crackdown. And the State Department is telling American citizens to leave Syria as soon as they can. The Afghan government says it's managed to recapture at least 65 of the prisoners who escaped in a massive jailbreak from a prison in Kandahar yesterday. Taliban insurgents say they spent 5 months digging the tunnel that freed about 480 inmates. Authorities are trying to piece together the details, but the country's justice minister is acknowledging that prison officials or guards probably acted as accomplices. Inmates somehow managed to get keys and were able to open their cells during the Sunday night escape. In addition to the 65 caught, it says 2 were killed when they resisted arrest. And Ukrainian President Viktor Yanukovych is renewing calls for funding to build a new shelter around the Chernobyl nuclear reactor on the accident's 25th anniversary. Ukraine still needs to raise some $300 million for the project after an international donors conference held earlier this month. Ukrainians began marking the anniversary of the world's worst nuclear disaster early today. In a memorial service in Kiev, priests sang hymns, Ukrainians lit candles, and a bell tolled 25 times for the years that have passed since the disaster. On the surface, it might not seem like the cold calculations of mathematics and the interpretive fluidity of music are in any way related. But as Jody Goldberg reports, students at one Long Island school recently learned how the two subjects are connected.
These teens are using math to learn about music. Here at Mepham High School in Belmore, students were able to strike a tuning fork to measure the frequency and pluck a rubber band on a guitar-like aluminum bar to measure the vibration.
If you look at some classical musicians, some of the best musicians over time, they all are very knowledgeable at math. And if you know the mathematics behind the music, it helps with learning scales and knowing intervals and all these things that help create music.
These teens are participating in an elite program, which stands for Enriching Learners in Tomorrow's Education.
We'd like to provide opportunities to students after school in which they could take what they learn in the classroom and apply it to real life situations and hopefully develop a further interest in learning.
It's so nice to get to work with students in outside of the classroom. That's one of the most rewarding things to do.
And here students can use music to create graphic designs used in trigonometry.
I enjoy learning, honestly. It's very interesting to explore the natural processes of the world.
Megan is only in 9th grade and says she hasn't taken trigonometry yet, but she comes to these programs to learn and apply textbook concepts to real-life situations.
Now, you're holding something. You're physically holding a little pitchfork thing. You're exploring what can actually happen in the real world instead of what's on pen and paper.
This tuning fork vibrates 288 times every second, and when you bop it, hold it up to the mic, you can actually see the frequency. And Mr. Walsh says the higher the frequency, the higher the pitch.
We decided to take trigonometry, which is and sine waves in particular, which is a subject that we study in our Algebra 2 class, and try to show them applications of it in the real world.
In Belmore, Jody Goldberg, LI News Tonight.
Well, it was like a summer day today, sunny and warm, just a few isolated thunderstorms. Today's high was up around 80 degrees. Tonight, showers expected with a low around 60. Tomorrow, scattered thunderstorms with a high around 70. Thursday, chance of thunderstorms, a high in the upper 60s. Friday, partly cloudy with a high in the low 60s. And the outlook for Saturday, a sunny day with a high in the low 60s. And that's it for NYIT's LI News Tonight. I'm Ken Eckhart. Thank you for watching. We'll see you again tomorrow. Have a good night.